Hello, welcome back to the Crooked Hour. Today I'm going to be doing a breakdown on Olivera versus Makhachev and how to bet both ways in this matchup. I've been gone for a minute, went on a holiday, got stuck overseas. Well, not overseas, but I live in Australia, went to Tasmania, got stuck overseas due to weather. I'm finally back. Going to be trying to make a bet on both ways on all the three fights, see how we go. But starting with this one, Charles Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev. It should be a good one. I feel like this is a very 50-50 fight, no matter what you're saying. I mean, Oliveira fanboys are wild, I will say that. Oliveira fanboys say he's just this isn't even gonna be a competition, which I think is just not true. But I don't know if they're doing that to just hype Charles up. Like, deep down, they probably know that's not true, or I don't know if they actually believe that. But he could definitely get it done in the first round. That's not wrong, but I definitely think on paper Islam's got a very good chance at this matchup, and I'll explain a little bit why. And just like on the other side, Charles has a really good chance in this matchup. I'd say 50-50. If I had to slightly edge it, I'd probably say Islam. I'd probably actually go 55-45 if I had to get it. I know that's going to get me a lot of hate. You know, I'm not even a big fan of Islam. I just think his wrestling could put him at an advantage in this fight. But nonetheless, this is how to bet both ways, and we're going to get into that. So Charles Oliveira, 33-8, 1 no contest. Islam Makhachev, 22-1. Average fight time for Charles Oliveira, 6 minutes and 55 seconds. For Islam, 9 minutes and 11 seconds. Height, 5'10 for Charles, 5'10 for Islam. They're the same height. Charles will have a 4-inch reach advantage on Islam, 70-inch reach for Islam, and 74 for Charles. Orthodox versus Southpaw. And then we go down to the striking stats. Strikes landed per minute is higher for Charles, but that's because he walks himself into the fight. You know, Islam's stand-up is more of a kickboxy type stand-up, while Charles likes to get in there and trade Muay Thai style, trading kicks, punches, elbows, whatever he can get. And also, if he can get to the clinch, well, that's just wonderful for Charles. That's just wonderful. That's what he wants. Striking accuracy is good. This is a good stat. Strikes landed per minute, 3.53 for Charles, and with a 53% accuracy, that's good. Islam's higher, but then, yeah, you got to think he's landing less shots per minute at a 57% striking accuracy. Strikes absorbed, a lot higher for Charles Oliveira, 3.18, compared to Islam, 0.84. You know, as I said, Islam, it's accounted a lot because of the top game. You know, when you're on the top, hard to get punched, and Islam's in the top a lot, like rarely on the feet. When he is on the feet, he barely gets touched anyway, and then he just finds a way to get to the ground. People are usually too worried about Islam getting it to the ground to really let their striking go, which I don't think is a problem that Charles will have in this matchup. Defense, 52% for Charles, 68% for Islam. As I said, Charles is just in the fire more. He just finds his way into the fire, and he can get dropped, as we've seen, but when he gets dropped, it's not really like any other fighter getting dropped. He doesn't mind getting dropped. As long as he's not clean out, it's rare that a opponent will follow him to the ground, but I think Islam will. I think he will. That could go bad, that could go good. 68% defense for Islam. We go down to the takedown average. So we got takedown average 2.46 for Charles, 3.41 for Islam, 40% takedown accuracy for Charles, 65% for Islam. So Islam's got the better wrestling. I think we all know this. It just, when you're talking about wrestling, he's got the better wrestling, but as we all know, Charles got the better jiu-jitsu. Takedown defense, very good on both sides. You know, Charles will let you take him down sometimes. I feel like if he never wanted to get to the ground, this stat would be a lot better. But since he doesn't mind going to the ground, 57%, sometimes he lets them go. Islam, he never wants to be on bottom. So, I mean, 88% is great. Submission average, 2.9 for Charles Dubronx and 1.2 for Islam Makhachev. I feel like this is going to be a good matchup. I don't see this one going to a decision, and I will talk about that more. I see this one being a bit chaotic, could end in the first 3 rounds. We'll be surprised if it makes the 4th round. I could see either of them submitting each other, and I can see either of them KOing each other. I really can. I could see, Olivera hitting him with a good shot, chasing him down while he's hurt and submitting him. And then on the side of Islam, I could see Islam hitting him with a nice kick and then just going down, getting that top pressure, avoiding the submissions and just ground and pounding Olivera out. And on the ground, I could just see scrambles where one of them submits each other. So I just think they're going to finish each other. Like, I think this fight ends in a finish. And that's when we go to how to bet both ways. Starting on Olivera. I think Charles Oliveira wins inside the distance, or just bet his money line. He is paying on my sports book. He is paying 2.39, which is a good profit, honestly. Good profit for Charles Oliveira. I would just be playing that just in case it does go to decision, which I don't think it will. I'd rather play inside the distance, or if you don't have that, like my books don't have that. So, I mean, double chance is the same thing. Charles Oliveira via submission or TKO. I mean, that's how he's going to get it done. Clipping Islam with a shot, following him to the ground, submitting him, or tangling him up when they're on the ground, submitting him. I can't see him KOing him. But on the off chance that he does hit him with a nice shot and just floors him, because Islam has been knocked out before, we know his chin's not made out of, like, Drew Dober material. So, I mean, it's a possibility. And then we go over to Islam Makhachev. Now, I've just got Islam Makhachev inside the distance. I do feel like Charles is more likely to get a finish. Like, Islam might get it done by decision. But I think with Charles Oliveira's recklessness that he can have sometimes, I feel like Islam's going to find himself in a position somewhere in the fight where he can get the finish if Charles hasn't already got it. On the feet, he's going to be a bit dangerous. He's got nice kicks, man. He's got nice kicks, underrated kicks. And on the ground, ground and pound or choke, could see it happening. Could really see that happening. It's going to be a great fight. It is going to be a great fight. So, to recap, Olivera inside the distance or money line, or Islam inside the distance is what I would be playing. The odds on that, if you're betting Islam Makhachev by TKO submission, which is inside the distance, it's paying out at 2.30, and Olivera inside the distance is paying out at 2.65. So they're good odds. Especially when I feel like they're the two most likely ways they're going to win. Decision, don't see this going to a decision, and that's when I go to the prop bet. Will this fight go to the distance? I'll just be playing no, and I'll be chucking that in a parlay somewhere. Don't think this fight goes to the decision. It's only paying out at 1.28. Probably not worth just putting money on just it, but add it to a parlay. I think it smacks. I do think it smacks. Now, this is a very fun matchup. I would have liked to talk about it more, but I've honestly got no time. So that's how I would bet on this fight. I don't think it goes to a decision. If it does go to a decision, I'm totally wrong. But it's a good fight overall, good matchup. Can't wait to watch it. 50-50 fight, in my opinion. As I said, 55-45. Islam I'd edge it too, but Charles, especially for these odds, has a good chance to win this fight. Either way you're on, I don't blame you. And yeah, as always, I hope you guys hit your bets. And as always, have a good one.
Bye.